All right, guys, we're off and running. So got my 5-gallon bucket here, got a little foam in there. Got a, well, a little more than halfway done with this 4-foot section here. It's like 4 foot by like realistically like 18 inches or so. That pour goes up into this crack. So I'm digging foam out of this section here underneath this piece of angle iron as best as I can. I gotta go through and clean that up one more time, and then this side here kind of bleeds all the way over under this support up against that gas tank, I believe. So man, is this stuff heavy. And I mean, just to kind of highlight what's really going on here, you know, the plug is out of the boat, and now this boat too, when it sits, it's still connected to the truck right now, and it's actually the tongue needs to be a little higher really to get it to drain. But this is what happens. I mean, you know, you can see with this support, the way that it runs down there, it's already going to kind of try to hold water in a trough on that side. But even right here, you know, that thing has relatively clear path to drain underneath that fuel tank, but it can't. I mean, that's just all trapped in there, and this foam is just, I don't know how well you can see that, but when I stick my thumb in there, I mean, it fills up with water. It's a sponge. I mean, this is like the worst possible thing to have in this boat. I mean, because it soaks water up so super easily, but it's very it's very slow to let it go, just because of the way that you can almost kind of see how the grain structure is horizontal right now, and this piece is absolutely saturated, but it's not dripping, it's not doing anything. Now when I tilt it on end like that, now this is 90 degrees to how it would actually sit in the boat. I might be able to coax a few drops out of it here, sitting like this, because this is like the way the grain structure is and the way that it wants to drain. But I mean, even just that little piece, I mean, this is an absolute sponge. This is absolutely completely saturated, and you see even after I mash it really good, it's not like it's trying to pop back out or anything. So this stuff is junk. The only good thing to possibly come of that, though, is it comes out pretty easy. I mean, it's kind of a gummy mess and everything, but once I can get underneath of it, I can kind of get that hook in there and pull up on it, and that foam just kind of breaks away like that. Every once in a while, you get lucky and get a good sized chunk to come out of it like that. So it's just amazing. Even just in, you know, all this water sitting down here, a lot of this stuff was stuck in that foam, and it's just water that's coming out like as I'm chipping up pieces of this. So I got a long way to go here, but I think probably what I'm going to try to do, if that bag is big enough, I've already got couple bucketfuls in that bag already. I'm going to probably finish this side out and give a look at how heavy that bag is, and I'll have to leave. I got big bags, so I can't imagine I'm going to fill it all the way up, but I'll have to give it a feel and make sure that it's not going to overload my scale, which probably goes up to about 225 pounds. So anyway, I'm going to see if I can do this side, and then maybe break into that side over there, and before I weigh the bag the first time. So be right back. All right, here's what it looks like after I got all the foam knocked out of it. A couple little scraps down in there, but I kind of went along the edge and got it all cleaned up. So, moment of truth, I kind of gave that bag a couple test feels along the way, and wanted to make sure that it wasn't going to get too heavy, and I filled it up with one of those and decided that was going to be enough for one bag. So tearing the scale out there, 176.6. And pardon the crazy video here for a second while I reel this bag in. $239.8, so that's like 63 pounds, somewhere in there. I'll do the math here in a second, but anyway, yeah, 63 pounds, somewhere in there, per section. I got one done. I got one here. I got one there that goes to the rear of the boat. Got one on this side that goes to the rear of the boat, and then forward here there's going to be another section that's all foamed in the same way, but it might be that the fuel tank ends somewhere up in here before the end of that panel, so it'll turn to solid foam across the middle. So there's a lot of foam weight in there. So I think the only thing to do is to keep digging at this point. All right, round 2 is over. So I got the other side complete. That side's done over there. Just moved my floorboard around to the other side there, and now this whole this is a 4-foot wide section here. And then anyway, let's see what the weigh-in is. So I get the impression, just it seems like the other side, all that foam was a lot more sloppy the first side that I did. So I'm expecting that haul might just be a little bit more than this one is. Let's go ahead and I'll step on the scale and do another tear. Make sure I'm not carrying too much in my pockets here. Get some of that extra weight out. All right. Let's see what we got here. All right, 174. I think it was 174.2. And 240.2. 240, so that's we got 66, is that right? Doing it real quick in my head. I'll have to review this video later, but and I'll go ahead and put a running tab maybe at the bottom of the video if I can do that. So yeah, maybe a little more than the other side, so my instincts were absolutely wrong, but I only expect that this is going to get worse in these 2 sections back here. So I think the first one I'm going to open up is on the other side around here. I'll pull that because I can open that access hatch and pull the back screws out to lift that section out, and then I'll just probably right now next I'll flap that floorboard back down on here, and so this hole isn't here, and then pop one of these up and get back to chiseling. So here comes round 3. All right, round 3 is complete. More of the same. That one felt like a little bit longer than some of the other ones did. There was some like bleed over where some of the extra ran down that way. I think this one might weigh in a little bit heavier. So now tell me, if that doesn't look like a garbage bag full of fried chicken, I don't know what does. I mean, look at that. It's freaking gross. I mean, it's like, this is actually coming out a little different. This has more structure to it. It's crunchier, but it's all waterlogged, so we'll see what it does. All right, 176.8, and garbage bag. Alright, hang on guys, I'm going to set you down. This one does feel a little heavier than the other ones. $234 change. Alright, that's the third weigh-in. So it's going well. I'm encouraged. I think this is gonna feel like a whole new boat, and while I'm at it, I'm looking around here and seeing other things that need to go, like those 6x9s in those boxes. Those things aren't probably too lightweight, so we're gonna chop some more weight while we're in here thinking about it. So all right, I'm probably gonna call it a night tonight, and then the next thing is this thing. But I think what I might do is I want to install an access panel over there anyway, so what I might do is measure that, maybe even take that one out and use it as a tracing template, and transfer it over here cut the carpet back, cut the hole with the jigsaw right in place. Otherwise, I gotta take this stupid cover off, because half of the hinge on this side and half of the hinge on this side over here are hooked onto these back panels here. So anyway, it's kind of annoying, but I have to disconnect the hinge in order to take that back panel off, and then I can't raise it up and all this. So I'm just going to cut the hole and plan on, I found some replacement panels, access hatches rather. I'm going to get those on order, and I'll just replace both of them at the same time, and then I'll have access to do the plumbing and everything over there for that second bilge pump too. So anyway, I'm going to try to knock out a couple extra things all in one shot, but I'm super excited. I have a feeling this is going to be the best free sweat equity performance enhancer that I've seen yet. So stay tuned. All right, round 4 is complete. There is the 4th empty bilge segment. Got her all bagged up here. So the other night I came out to start working on this and had just pulled the cover on the boat, and we got a rainstorm that was just an insane rainstorm. It came fast and it dumped a ton of water on us. Ended up with water in the basement of the house and everything else. And unfortunately, the last scale that I had here, I had it on the boat floor under the tarp and everything, and we still got quite a bit of water come through, and it got the scale wet. So last night while I was working on it, I went to take a weight measurement here from this one, and the scale was junk, and I didn't want to go wake Emily up to get this one out of our bathroom. So all right, what do we got here? 175.4 and 236.4. Set that one back here. And I was busy last night. I didn't let not having a functional scale hold me up too much because I went ahead and opened up these next 2 sections up here. So this is where the seats were bolted down to. Like I was saying before, this tank is a massive tank, and that's right where it ends, right there towards the forward end of the boat. These 2 sections here are a little bit different because they got an aluminum plate. I'm assuming they put that there so they could mount the seat down to it. These holes back along here are where the seat base bolts to, the rear end of the seat base. The front of the seat base mounts onto that next section up there, and so that's really the last one I have to pull out. It appears like it's going to be shorter because of the curvature of the boat around the nose there. It appears that section is going to be smaller. What I was curious about is whether or not they would have put any foam in the center of the bilge. It looks like that's open to me going all the way forward. I stuck my hand down in there, and I think that's empty, but I do expect that there's foam still here on the side that runs forward, so I want to pull that off and see what's in there. But good chance there's not as much foam, maybe in that one section there. But these, as we go forward on the boat, and I think right here where I stand, this is actually the deepest part. So this compartment here, I guess, goes down a lot deeper than the ones in the rear of the boat. So I am expecting that these bags might be a little bit heavier. Either way, I didn't do the best job here. You can see that, like, there's still foam sitting right there. I'm probably just gonna save that for the very end. I might make one more bag up of all the scraps and everything as we chisel and clean all the goo out of here. I'll just add that to one last bag and weigh that one at the end to to get the final total for what we're removing. So all right, so this one will be number 5 here. So this bag is from this side of the boat. All right, 175.4. $244.6. on that one. And this one is off the right side. $229. All right, so 5 and that $229, that was from number 6 here. So we got 2 more sections to go before all of the bulk of this stuff is removed, at least. So I'm gonna flip that tarp up and probably put this panel back down so I have a place to put those seats temporarily, and then I'm gonna pull those floorboards up and get a look at what that looks like in there.